Bonjour et bienvenue dans le cours de français 1 du Online Academy. Welcome to our course. I know that if you're joining us now, you are coming from an in-person course at one of the schools here in the district. So bienvenue, welcome. Hopefully you'll find that what we do in here is pretty similar in terms of format to what you did in class, especially if you had me as a teacher. But even if you had a different teacher, hopefully it'll be somewhat familiar. So our Schoology page is set up like this. You're always going to have some information up here about whatever our current or upcoming story is. I try to update it as much as possible. Sometimes it'll be out of date, but for now it's up to date. So our next story, we're going to be using these terms. We also have les mots de passe in the online class, just like we did for the in-person class. Okay, that's already out of date because this week's is j'ai oublié, but oh well, I'll get it updated as soon as I can. The buttons down here you'll use once in a while. I would say the one that you'll probably use the most is weekly check-in, or actually probably the late work form is one that people use the most. I would like you to do the weekly check-in every week or at least every other week, but most people kind of end up forgetting about that. The late work form is very handy though, because anytime you turn in anything that is already in the gradebook in PowerSchool, I need you to fill out a late work form if you complete that work late after the due date, because otherwise I won't know to go back and look for it. So anytime you do a late assignment, make sure you fill out a late work form so I know to go back and look for that assignment and give you credit for it. Like I said, the weekly check-in is also very handy, and then the Quizlet vocab review is also very handy. You won't use the exit quiz form very much, if at all, because for the most part, I have your quiz answer form embedded with a video when I give you a listening quiz, but it's here just in case, because sometimes it does come up that we would need it. The meeting sign up button will take you to my schedule, and you can sign up for a session with me whenever is convenient for you. I have, I think, a half hour set aside in the morning and about a half hour set aside after school. So always feel free to reach out that way, because I am more than happy to have a one-on-one session with you if you have any questions about what's going on, especially here at the beginning. Our class stories are always going to be right at the top of our Schoology feed. So this is where you're going to see the stories about like animals that we've done before, la grenouille qui chante, le tigre qui parle, le singe qui aime caresser les animaux, as well as all of our special person stories. So those are all here. This is a vocab document, kind of like up here. I try to keep it up to date. I'm not always great about that, but it's still pretty helpful. And then the part of Schoology you're going to use the most is this folder right here. It's called Cette Semaine, this week. Later on, when we have previous weeks in the quarter semester, I will have a previous week's folder where you can find this folder when it is no longer that week. For now, you have a semester 1 previous week's folder down here, but that's obviously for semester 1. If you needed anything from there, it's available to you. But I will have a new folder that has the more recent previous weeks. So here you see that we have our synchronous class on Wednesdays. Here's the Google Meet code for that. It's from 8:45 to 9:45, but I know that not everybody can make that. So if you're not able to, remember our meeting sign up button. You're always welcome to arrange to have a Google Meet one-on-one with me so I can explain anything that you might be having trouble with or whatever. The other thing that I wanted to mention here is that in addition to the synchronous class, I have a help session, kind of like office hours, where I keep the Google Meet, same code. I keep that Google Meet on from 8:45 to 9:30 on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So you are more than welcome to drop in at one of those times to ask me any questions. And again, if that time slot doesn't work for you, set up something else with me. I'm very, very flexible. Okay. We open up the Cette Semaine folder. That's going to be the first thing you do every week. And you're going to see some information up here. But the most important part is les diapos, the slides. Everything you need for this course can be found in the slides. That's really important. So the first slide of every week is always a checklist. So you'll see that some of these activities are graded, the ones in red. Some of them are graded later on, so you have to do them now for a grade that will happen later. Those are pink, and then anything in black is just practice. So this week we had the flip grid, or you could come to the live meet. The Alouette fill-in activity, the Brandon Brown activity, which is the Les Animaux de Compagnie infographic, and then your quick write. Quick writes, as you probably know from before, I only grade once a quarter. So it's not for a grade right now, but it will be later on. So you want to make sure you keep up with those. Okay, as we move on in the slides, I also have announcements over here. Nothing big this week except a reminder to use the late work form if you turn in something that's already been graded in PowerSchool. And then finally, I don't think when you open up the gradebook in Schoology, I think you'll just see a blank page for my class because I don't use the gradebook in Schoology. Occasionally I've accidentally put grades in there, so I want to make sure that you don't look at Schoology for your grades, only look at PowerSchool for your grades. So you're going to see that there are slides for every day. Since this week started with Mercredi le 19 janvier, that's where our slides start. This basically on Wednesday, since we have our live meet, our synchronous class, we go basically through this agenda during our synchronous class. So that's what you'll see on Wednesdays. But then you are also expected to kind of go through that agenda as a student who's not at the synchronous class. So you still need all of this information. You still need le mot de passe, j'ai oublié. For this day in history, aujourd'hui dans l'histoire, in your in-person classes, we used these as kind of a conversation, a good chance for you to do a little bit of reading comprehension practice. In the online class, I try to make it similar. Oftentimes, you don't need to do anything, just read it and see what you can understand. Other times, though, usually twice a week, we'll have a discussion question about it. I say discussion, but it's really more like a question. So you'll see a little box that says discussion. There'll be a couple of questions, and then you'll have a link to, it'll be a discussion assignment in Schoology, so it'll be up here. But like I said, everything you need for the class is in the slides. So I'll also have that discussion linked in the slides down here. So don't worry about it if you are not following where to find everything, because everything is in the slides. Okay, then if you are not able to make it to the meet on Wednesdays, I ask that you do a flip grid so that you get some practice with speaking. The flip grid always includes bonjour, au revoir at the beginning and end. It always includes le mot de passe, so j'ai oublié. It always includes a question to answer. Qu'est-ce que tu as fait pendant le long weekend? And then you have options on this Jamboard, so you can use these options. J'ai passé du temps avec ma famille, j'ai fait du sport, j'ai joué à un jeu de société, etc. So, then you'll do some gestes. Je travaille, je souris, je mets, and then au revoir. So it's pretty simple, but it's just a way that I can hold you accountable for being able to do a lot of the things that we did in our synchronous meet if you're not able to make it to that synchronous meet. Those are just once a week. Les gestes, this slide should probably look pretty familiar to you because we had something similar in the in-person class. I'll be practicing these during the synchronous class every week. If you're not able to make the synchronous class, watch the video. That will help you quite a bit. And then, like you saw in the previous slide, you're expected to be able to do some of those gestes as a part of your video. So just keep that in mind. La chanson de la semaine. The song of the week is also something that we do pretty casually in this class, but you can listen to it. This maybe is the very first time I've ever had any kind of an assignment associated with La chanson de la semaine, but I might have more in the future. We'll see. So usually it's just for your listening pleasure. Other times you'll have an assignment associated with it. And if you do, it will be very clear right here, and everything, again, is linked. Okay, so the days in the slides are color-coded. So you see all of our Wednesday slides, mercredi, bleu, Jeudi changes to this jaune, this yellow color. So again, you have some reminders from yesterday and one additional activity called Les Animaux de Compagnie. This activity, again, you can find by clicking on here. And it'll look like this. You'll use the infographie here to answer the questions down here to the best of your ability. If you don't understand certain things, you can always ask me via email, but again, you can also just kind of do your best. Okay, and then that leads us to today, vendredi, le 21 janvier. Again, I have kind of a recap of the last couple of days, what people should have done at that point, or by this point in time. You'll also have a quick write today, your weekly check-in, and Muzzy. And there are slides for each of those in the next few slides are about those things. So you'll use this document to give you some guidance for your quick write. So you're not just pulling things out of thin air. I kind of want to give you a little bit of help, a little bit of support in writing these quick writes so that you have something to go off of. So this week we're concentrating on some of these terms that we learned through les gestes TPR. And in the video for today, I kind of explain those. I'll talk about the videos for every day in just a moment. But first, for the quick writes. So the assignment, or rather the slideshow that I just showed you. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. This slideshow that I just showed you, you are welcome to, if you have a printer at home or if you have access to a printer, to print this out and use it, write directly on the paper, take a picture of it, and upload it. If you do not have a printer at home, that is quite all right. You'll just use the document, look at it on your screen, and on your paper in front of you, you'll just make sure that you have it in the quick write section of your notebook, that you have the date on it somewhere, and then also just that you set a timer for 5 minutes. This goes for whether you print it out or you just kind of go it alone. So 5 minutes is what we're aiming for. For now, we might up that a little bit before the end of the year, but I think we're going to stick around the 5-minute mark for how long we'd like you to write. Try to write for that entire time. And then once you have it, you'll take a picture of it, and that's where you'll go to this. It's just a very simple assignment. It says Q3 quick writes, and you will just attach a photo. That's all you got to do. Attach a photo of the quick write you did on a given day. Once you have uploaded that one, the next week you'll just do a revision. So it'll give you an opportunity to upload another photo, but that doesn't take the place of the first one. I'll see the first one in addition to any other revisions that you do. So that is how I've been having this work for the last couple of quarters, and that's seemed to be work pretty well. If you have questions about that, let me know. I don't know if I explained that very clearly. Weekly check-in, like I said, not everybody does it, but if you click on that weekly check-in, remember it's on our main page of Schoology. It's a button right here. I would appreciate if you fill that out and I can kind of see how you're doing, and in the case of new students, get to know you a little bit. Have to go back to our slides. The last slide is Muzzy. And Muzzy is something that is absolutely not mandatory in this class, but I highly recommend it for the online students. You're going to be on Unit 7 this week, which for some of you who had me in class, this is about where we are. For other people who might have had a different teacher, you might be a little bit behind. This might be repeat for you, but when you're learning a language, repetition is not a bad thing. So always go back and watch it if you are interested. I highly recommend it, like I said. And then there are instructions here. You have to go to our Cette Semaine folder. Well, we're already in the Cette Semaine folder. And here it is, Muzzy Unit 7. So you should be able to click on this and watch the video. If you have any issues with the technical aspect there, shoot me an email and I'll try to help you out. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to mention that is not included in the slides. So basically, up to right now, the main thing I need you to know is that these slides are going to be your guide for the entire week. So you can really rely on those. And if you look at the slides and read them and do what is mentioned in each of the slides, you should be golden. The other thing though is every day I put a video on here. Usually this is a very long video. Usually these videos are no more than 5-6 minutes. And there's one per day. I try to put it up by 9:30. I'm not always great about that, but I try. But it will be available sometime in the morning of whatever day. So this one's from yesterday. You can open it up. And you see this frowny face? Doesn't matter. You can click up here and get to where you're going. I don't know why it does that, but so there you go. That's what our video looked like for yesterday. I'll be putting our video on for today, Friday, momentarily. On Wednesdays, instead of posting a video, I just post the recording of our meet. So that is what you can look at if you need some support on a Wednesday. Okay, I believe that is everything, but always ask me questions if you have them via email, or again, you can always click on this meeting sign up button to do a one-on-one meet with me, and I'll be happy to help you there. Okay, I know that was a lot of information. It'll be okay. One step at a time, one day at a time. Just follow those slides and you should be good. Au revoir tout le monde.